World Swimming Coaches Association said that transgender athletes taking part in competitive female swimming is unfair to the female swimmers and that their category should be protected. Do you agree with that opinion or do you disagree?
Well, I think it's a fairly layered situation for it to be a simple yes or no answer.
What exactly is men's swimming and women's swimming? If it's just based on your sex and then you're doing that swimming, it doesn't really hold that much importance then, I guess, right? Because it's more about the sport than the gender competing in it.
I think men should compete with men and women with women. They would have an advantage, you know.
It's hard for me. I can't really have an opinion on the matter, dude. I can't.
You can't at all?
It's too touchy of a subject.
At the end of the day, man is stronger than woman, physically.
If the person made the decision, to make the conversion, if they identify themselves as a female, I think that it's totally fine for them to swim in that category,
I appreciate people trying to talk about it, and I think it's an important conversation to have. Mama.
Let's see what Mama Bear has to say.
He has a question.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that opinion?
Definitely. Especially if they're taller and bigger and stronger, obviously they're going to win.
I think we should go by the science, and I did hear an interview or read an article about it that it really doesn't make that much difference.
Transgender swimmers swimming?
Yeah, let them swim.
That's the science?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that opinion or no?
I don't have a definite opinion. It's very complicated. I coached high school sports for over 30 years, and so, I kind of take that experience into it. But I think for the most part, transgender swimmers and other athletes do not have much of an impact at all on sports.
I mean, the reason why we're bringing that up is, this is all following Leah Thomas. There was a transgender female swimmer. There was a swimmer, I'm sure you heard about, Leah Thomas from University of Pennsylvania. Thomas had ranked, about a little over a year ago, had ranked 462nd among male swimmers and then was number one in females.
Right.
What do you think about that? We're saying it's not a big impact, but what do you think?
It's less of an impact than, let's say, it can be, like in her case, a pretty big impact.
Among women, Thomas was number one. So does sex not make that much of a difference?
It certainly does. Well, it's obviously unfair if you have certain, if it's a proven advantage that you have over someone, then you have to factor that in.
Do you find that to be problematic at all?
I don't think necessarily problematic because, again, it's if they won fair and square, I think that's, I don't understand why it's such a big commotion.
I mean, that's a pretty big difference, isn't that, or no?
That is a big difference, but
why do you think that is?
You have to look into how it was, I don't know, how it was figured.
Yeah.
And you have to look at, I think, like scientists, you have to look at numbers overall.
For boxing, how do you have weight categories? You could have certain parameters for different sports, which is not based on your sex. I guess that could be one way of going about it.
Yeah. I mean, even if a male and a female are the same height, on average, men still have larger hearts, bigger lungs. So does that?
So if you could,
what do you think about that?
Yeah, if you think about,
would that be fair? Even if they were the same weight, would it even be fair?
Well, that depends if it does influence your performance.
Men have 15 to 30% larger hearts. On average, 10% more or larger, lungs. If they're the same height as a female, how can biological women compete against that biological advantage?
I don't know, but as I said, I would leave it to
science,
valid scientific studies.
Yeah.